I'm just about to leave Moose Jaw in the next hour or so. I guess this is technically day 3, but I'm going to call it day 2 of my travel across Canada to Ottawa. And I just thought I'd give a quick history of the downtown area of Moose Jaw. So this is you can see that we have a rink over there. The Mosaic Stadium, owned by the mega mineral company Mosaic, obviously. They built the stadium. You realize how much propaganda there actually is out west when it comes to natural resource extraction. But, it's just, this is downtown. It's a historic downtown, what we're looking at right here is River Street. And it wasn't always a street, it was actually a building about 30 years ago. But the building burned down. And so, a lot of people, actually a surprising amount of people died. River House, the River Building used to be a pretty good hotel. And now we just, now it's a street, a commemorative street. Over here is where the Tunnels of Moose Jaw tour begins. I used to work on that. It was the Chinese Connection and the Passage to Fortune tour. We would talk about the history of the Chinese within Moose Jaw and kind of more of their story about how they built the railroad. And so the Chinese in Moose Jaw, they actually lived in old steam tunnels quite often. And that would lead down to a laundromat that would be connected to steam tunnels. And back in the late 19th century, early 20th century, Moose Jaw, like many major Canadian cities, would use these steam tunnels to basically connect to basically keep warm during the evening. Now, these tunnels were not only used for steam. After they kind of fulfilled their purpose, they also ended up using these tunnels to store illicit substances, such as opium from China. And most famously, they were used to store booze from they would make during Prohibition. So Prohibition didn't really happen. We tried it in Canada from 1921 to 1923. It didn't really work out. No one really liked it. So Prohibition was pretty quick here. But Prohibition in America lasted the better part of 2 decades. And so what would happen would be basically bootleggers such as Al Capone would come up here to Moose Jaw via the railroad, and then they would kind of make the booze up here and then smuggle it back across the border. And Moose Jaw was literally known as Little Chicago because it had a direct line to Chicago via the railroad. Moose Jaw was founded in 1885 as a major rail hub for the Canadian Pacific Railroad. And in fact, we can see the original station here that they built back in the day. The station is no longer in use as a train station. It's kind of a mini mall at this point and a historic site, but obviously we can see in the background there's still a lot of rail cars, and it's still used to this day as a major rail hub by CN Rail. But the train station shut down in 1998 when the railroad stopped. When the passenger rail stopped running here. And we can continue along here. You can just see it's a small downtown. It doesn't have high-rise buildings. The highest building is 6 stories. But you know, it doesn't really have to be lots. The nice thing about Moose Jaw is that it actually has a lot of restaurants and foods, like and like that you can try, like Mitsu, that's sushi, and right across the street, Thai food, and across the street again, pizza, and you can see Asian noodles right next to that. There's a coffee shop there. You've probably seen a few coffee shops already. Like, you know, this is one of the nice things about Moose Jaw, is that there's always a place to eat if you want it. Despite being a small town and a small city, there's actually quite a bit to do for a young person. And, you know, it's not really growing, but like the population's staying steady, and yeah, like kind of, if we look down the street here, yeah, there's a few taller buildings in the background, but you can see that there's my church there, and yeah, there's the Capitol Theater, which yeah, there's the Capitol Theater, which yeah, like you can still see theater, you can still see plays there. I've performed on that stage, in fact. It was opened in 1916 in the downtown, and actually you can see that the road here is really wide, and it's not just because it's North America, it's because there used to be a tram that would go down this road, down the median, and like you know, they ripped out the tram in the 80s, but kind of to this day they actually still have a trolley bus tour. They just rejigged the trolley bus so that it doesn't need guide rails, and they just take one of these old jury-rigged trolley buses and drive them around Moose Jaw, and you can see like the murals and like a whole bunch of other things that I'm not going to show you today. Anyways, this is the downtown. It's really nice. I recommend a visit if you ever are in Canada, and I'll catch you later.